Hey, what's going on, everybody? Of course, Mercury retrograde is Mercury retrograding. There was a whole scene that just like cut off, but whatever. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Astro Room where we discuss everything astrology on a weekly and a monthly basis. All right. I am your favorite astrologer, Mel of Divine Feminine Works, where I help people unlock their divinity and discover their magic. So if you are new, welcome. And as always, if you are returning, welcome back. This channel is everything tarot, astrology, spirituality, and manifestation. So if those are the things you like, if those are the things you love, if those are the things you want to learn more about, don't forget to hit that subscribe button as well as that notification bell so you'll always be notified when I come out with new content. All right, and speaking of content, head over to Instagram and hit that follow button. I've got loads of excellent daily content. And when I say daily, I mean daily. I post a lot of great stuff on the regular. So head over there, hit that follow button so you don't miss any of that great stuff. All right, my loves, welcome to another edition of the monthly Astro Forecast for the month of January 2023. All right, so let's let the good folks over on Twitter know that we are live so that they can come over here and join us. All right, so January 2023, new month, new fiscal year, and of course, new planetary energies. All right. I like this month. I like January because it's going to get us in the right frame of mind. I think one of the best things about the astrology of January is that by the end of the month, all planets will be direct. So we're going to have this push and this momentum to get things going and start some new things in our lives. All right. So things are looking pretty good in January. Nothing too crazy. All right. But before I get into the nitty gritty, let's get into some housekeeping and some announcements. All right. So if you are here with me in the live, please don't forget to hit that like button on your way in and feel free to say hello in the chat. And even if you're watching this on the replay, I have a feeling you're really going to like this. You're going to like my lives. I go live every Monday at 7 p.m. for the weeklies, and I go live the last Wednesday of the month for the monthlies. All right. So hit that like button and, of course, that subscribe button so you don't miss any of the great stuff over here on Divine Feminine Works. All right. And so if you are new to astrology and you have no idea what's going on, or even if you've started studying astrology, but things are a bit confusing, there's a lot of stuff to memorize, I created this thing called the Astrology Basics Cheat Sheet that basically gives you the quick and dirty on everything you need to know to start studying astrology, mainly the 4 pillars of astrology, which are the planets, the houses, the signs, and the aspects. So it's an 11-page PDF document that gives you a quick summary of all of these things so that you can start committing them to memory, because despite what you may think, astrology is a science. And so it requires a lot of research. It requires putting things to memory. And so in an effort to get you started on your astrological journey, I created this cheat sheet. If you're interested in it, the link will be in the description box below. All you have to do is drop your email address and you are good to go. All right. So let's see. Do we have anything else here? Yes. So if you are interested in getting your weekly horoscope, I have this service where I text out the weekly horoscope every Monday morning. If that is something that you are interested in, please text ZODIAC to the number 855-826-5544. Again, that's Zodiac to 855-826-5544. And if you missed that, that information will be in the description box below as well. All right, so let's chat for a little bit. Let's chat about January. Let's chat about December, going into January, all that good stuff. So we basically just started Capricorn season last week. All right. We had the winter solstice. We had that new moon in Capricorn. All of that good stuff, right? So we're entering a new fiscal year. We're entering a new month. And so it's time for some energy shifts, okay? So as we leave the winter solstice, we're actually gaining minute by minute every day. Every day we gain a few more minutes of sunlight. So the winter solstice is really about the return to light, okay? And so going into January, we're sort of building this momentum. It's a new season. It's the winter, at least here in the Northern Hemisphere. And it's kind of a time to start new things. And that may be a little counterintuitive, right? Because winter is about hibernation. But keep in mind that Capricorn is a cardinal sign, which means that it's concerned with starting new things. Now, starting new things during Capricorn season always tends to be a little challenging because the energy of Capricorn is very dense. It's very grounded. It's very earthly, right? But Capricorn season allows us to sort of get our things in order. It gets us success and achievement minded and sort of thinking towards the future, specifically with what we want to achieve, what we want to have, perhaps our status in life. Capricorn energy is very much concerned with career. So many of us may be thinking about career mobility or starting a new business or implementing new things in our career or in our jobs to experience something new and to achieve new things. That's really the essence of Capricorn season. And that's how we start out the month, right? And then when the sun goes into Aquarius, it's all about personal freedom. It's all about intellect. It's all about innovation and invention, doing things in a new way, allowing your unique personality to shine, and communing with like-minded people. So Aquarius season tends to be a little, I would say social, right? Because we're communing with like-minded people, and it's all about new and improved things. It's really about improving ourselves. Think about the essence of January, right? Especially here in the Northern Hemisphere. January is when everyone wants to do things differently, right? Everyone wants to start anew. It is the fiscal new year, not the natural new year, but the fiscal new year, the Gregorian calendar new year, and everyone wants to lose weight. They want to get a new job. They want to make more money, set New Year's resolutions, all of that good stuff. So it's all about improving ourselves. And that's kind of by design. Like the astrology definitely reflects that, because Aquarius is about improvement. It's about innovation and invention. So we start off 2023 with this energy of wanting to succeed, wanting to achieve things, and wanting to improve ourselves, or at least our situations in life. That's pretty much what we're looking at in January. And if you want to know the nitty gritty of what 2023 has to offer, check out my 2023 predictions video. I talk all about the astrology of 2023 and what you can expect, and that link will be in the description box below. All right. So let's get into some of the highlights of January. All right. So we have what I like to call all systems go, and I sort of alluded to this before. By the end of January, all planets will be direct, okay? Every single planet will be moving forward. And when all the planets move forward, we sort of feel the need to move forward. We feel the need to push ahead, to do new things. This is sort of in line with what I was just saying before about Capricorn and Aquarius energy. This is about success. This is about improvement and moving ahead, okay? But here's the thing with Capricorn. Capricorn energy is all about sort of the past, because it's about the lessons that we've learned, the life lessons that we've gained along the way. So even though by the time January is done, we're going to be ready to move forward, it's important that you move forward with the lessons and the knowledge and the experience that you gained from the past. It's not just having a clean slate and forgetting everything that you've gone through and everything that you've experienced and learned. It's about taking those things with you in order to achieve things, have success, and improve yourself and your circumstances. All right. Then next, I have what I like to call freedom and innovation. And this is that Aquarius energy. And we're actually going to be having a stellium in Aquarius. So a stellium is when you have 3 or more planets in a particular sign. Okay, so we're going to have the sun, the new moon, Venus, and Saturn are all going to be in Aquarius this month in January. So take a look at your natal chart and see what house Aquarius is. That's where there's going to be an immense focus for you in January. Themes related to that house are likely going to come up. Issues related to themes of that house may come up. Those kind of things are going to be highlighted for you in January, okay? Now, Aquarius, it's interesting because Capricorn and Aquarius are ruled by the same planet, which is Saturn, but it's expressed in 2 different ways. So Capricorn is very heavy energy. It's the harshness of Saturn. Capricorn energy is very much about time delays. It's about obstacles, challenges, and overcoming things in our life, like overcoming adversity, okay? Now, it's important because in going through adversity and overcoming it, it allows you to level up. And in leveling up, that's how you come to understand how Saturn is expressed in Aquarius. Because the way that Saturn is expressed in Aquarius is all about freedom and liberation. So you've learned all the harsh lessons during Capricorn season, and then in Aquarius, you can sort of leave them behind. Of course, taking the lessons that you've learned along the way and sort of break free of those limitations. It's all about personal freedom and liberation, okay? Aquarius energy also tends to be a bit rebellious. So moving away from tradition, moving away from societal structures is sort of the essence of Aquarian energy. That's why I call this live New and Improved, because it's all about improving upon what's already been, what's been in the past, what you've been doing, what you're used to, and sort of finding a new and innovative way to do things, all right? Now, because Aquarius is an air sign, all right, a lot of people get confused because the symbol for Aquarius is the water bearer, but Aquarius, and even though it's aqua, right, it is not a water sign, it is an air sign. So Aquarius energy is very much about the intellect. It's about the mind. It's about learning, and it's about thoughts and communications. So during Aquarius season, we're all about forming new structures, new traditions, and we're all about having new and innovative ideas and learning things that are new and innovative. So that's basically going to be the essence of that Aquarian energy that's coming up in January. And then finally, I have what I like to call busy brain, okay? And that is Mars going direct in Gemini. So Mars has been in Gemini for quite some time. Mars first entered Gemini back in August, okay? And then back in October, at the end of October, Mars went retrograde. So I want you to take a good look at where Mars is, where Gemini is in your natal chart, okay? This is the area where by the end of the summer, you probably felt very amped and very motivated. You probably had a lot of new ideas. You wanted to start a lot of new projects. Wherever Gemini is in your chart, that area of your life likely got a adrenaline boost, right? It's like a battery was put in your back and you were firing on all cylinders, okay? Now, when Mars went retrograde, that energy subsided. So whereas before you were feeling very motivated and amped, by the time Mars went retrograde, you were feeling kind of sluggish and lazy, okay? You didn't have that same motivation. You didn't have that same drive to do things, again, wherever Gemini is in your natal chart. But now that Mars will be going direct again, expect to feel energized, expect to feel motivated again, right? Now, because Gemini is also an air sign, it concerns itself with thoughts, with ideas, and with communication. So you may find that Mars will be in Gemini until March. So between January and March, wherever Gemini is in your chart, that's where you may find a lot of activity. Things may really ramp up. You may find that you have a lot more energy to do things related to the themes covered by Gemini. Okay, so let me give you a perfect example. Let's say you've got Gemini in your second house. Your second house in your natal chart is Gemini, and that's the house of money and assets. So when Mars first went into Gemini, you were probably thinking of a million and one new ways to make money. You were probably doing new projects, probably getting a new job, maybe had a side hustle, maybe you were doing some investing, right? You were really gung-ho about it. And then in October, when Mars went retrograde, you kind of slowed down with that. You weren't as motivated, or money wasn't flowing like it was when Mars first went into Gemini. So now that Mars is going direct in Gemini from January until March, when it comes to money-making ideas, when it comes to talking about money, perhaps even transacting business, you're going to be amped again. You're going to be amped. You're going to be motivated. You're going to want to do all the things to have new money flow into your life, okay? And your brain is going to be firing on all cylinders, a whole bunch of new ideas, talking to a lot of different people, taking some risks in order to get immediate rewards, okay? So that's basically the essence of Mars going direct in Gemini. And what's really interesting is that Mars is all about our desires. So it may be that you're motivated based on a particular desire that you have. And when Mars was retrograde, you may have neglected that desire, or that desire may not have been as strong in you, right? But now, again, that Mars is going direct, I feel like that desire is going to be reignited, and it's going to give you that motivation to do new things. All right. So those are the highlights. So let's get into the general astrology for the month. All right. So this is what we got going on in January. So first up, we've got Venus moving into Aquarius. Thereafter, we've got the full moon of the month, which is going down in the sign of Cancer. Then we have what I was just talking about before, Mars going direct in Gemini. Then straight away from there, we've got Mercury going direct in Capricorn. Now, Aquarius season will officially begin on the 20th when the sun moves into Aquarius. The new moon for the month is also going to be in Aquarius. So see all of these planets in Aquarius, that's what's known as a stellium, like I mentioned before. And then we have Uranus going direct in Taurus, and this will be the last planet to go direct, making all planets going direct by the end of January. And finally, we close out the month with Venus, the planet of love and money, going into its sign of exaltation, Pisces. All right, so let's get into the nitty gritty. All right, so let's see what we got first. First up, we've got Venus in Aquarius. All right, so when Venus is in Aquarius, Venus is very much intellectual. Venus in Aquarius is not exactly warm and fuzzy, okay? Hold on, let me get my notes together. This is all messed up. All right, there we go. All right. So like I was saying, Venus in Aquarius, it can be emotionally detached. It's not exactly warm and fuzzy. We move towards expressing love in a very unconventional sort of way when Venus is in Aquarius, okay? Now, the thing with Aquarius is that Aquarius energy is very much focused on humanity. So it fosters like group activities, brainstorming with people. It fosters togetherness, right? And that's the essence of Venus energy, right? Because Venus is all about relationships. But here's the thing. It's like Venus in Aquarius, although it can be very social, it's also very detached and wants independence. So kind of how this plays out is like, let's say that you are part of a group or you're part of a club, right? Venus in Aquarius kind of makes you feel like you want to stand out. You don't want to just blend in. You want to stand out. You want to express yourself authentically and stand out apart from the crowd, okay? Venus in Aquarius, although it is emotionally detached, it can be incredibly loyal, however, on its own terms. So let's say you, in your natal chart, you actually have Venus in Aquarius. So natally, at the time that you were born, Venus was actually in Aquarius. It's not to say that you're cold and you're like not loving and tender. It's just that you express your love probably in a different way, probably in an intellectual sort of way. Think of Venus in Aquarius in terms of the 5 love languages. Venus in Aquarius would be like words of affirmation, okay? Not incredibly lovey-dovey, but still loyal, okay? When it comes to relationships generally with Venus in Aquarius, they tend to be a bit experimental. Venus in Aquarius gives very much friend zone energy, okay, for better or for worse. It's great if you actually want to be friends, but if you're trying to be romantic and kind of get booed up, Venus in Aquarius isn't necessarily the transit that you want to do that with. Like Venus in Aquarius is great for when you first meet somebody and you're establishing a friendship foundation. Okay, I think that's the best use of Venus in Aquarius energy, okay? But by and large, the most important thing I would have to say about Venus in Aquarius is that if you, like I said, if you're getting into a relationship while Venus is in Aquarius, it's having that friendship foundation, right? But also allowing people the freedom to be themselves. Like I said, Venus in Aquarius is very detached emotionally. It's not going to be clingy. It's not going to be codependent. It's this energy of allowing people to be who they are, express themselves authentically, and still have that bond, still have that rapport, okay? It's about treating others fairly. It's about being selfless. right? Because Aquarius is a sign of humanity. And it's also about being impartial. Okay. So Venus in Aquarius is it's not the really uh loving and tender transit, nor is it the really sexy or flashy transit. Venus in Aquarius is great for building friendships and rapport with people. All right. And that's going down on January 2nd. So let's keep it moving. Then next up, we have the full moon of the month, which is going down in the sign of Cancer. Okay. And this is going down on January 6th. So this full moon is going down at 16 degrees Cancer, okay? And this full moon is probably going to be felt a lot more intensely than most because the moon is in its home sign. Cancer is the home sign of the moon. So definitely with this full moon, expect a lot of emotion, expect to be very sensitive, but also expect to be very intuitive and even psychic. Like your psychic abilities and your intuition are definitely going to be heightened. But I also think that you're going to be hella moody and you're also probably going to be extremely sensitive. Any slight by anyone could really affect you emotionally, okay? So speaking of emotions, Cancer is all about emotions. It's the first water sign, but it has to do with our basic emotional needs. So I want you to take a good look at where Cancer is in your natal chart. So when this full moon goes down, whatever area of life is covered by Cancer in your natal chart, that is where issues related to your emotional needs are probably going to come up. So basic emotional needs include love, include shelter, include nurturing, include nourishment, like the things that you need to survive, emotionally speaking, are covered by Cancer. So many of us may be triggered at this full moon because maybe our basic emotional needs are not being met either by a situation or by a person. Or maybe it's us that are neglecting someone else's basic emotional needs, okay? Now, the full moon is when the sun and the moon are opposite each other, right? So if the moon is in Cancer, it means that the sun is in Capricorn. The Capricorn Cancer axis, it really covers like our public life as represented by Capricorn versus our private life as represented by Cancer. So at this full moon, you may find that maybe you are too focused or putting too much of your emotional energy on work, on your reputation, or on your business and neglecting home. Or vice versa. Maybe you're putting too much of your emotion and your effort and your emphasis at home and not enough on your work career and your social standing. All right. So that axis is going to be highlighted at this full moon in Cancer. Okay. And again, I feel like many people will be pretty triggered because Cancer energy is hella sensitive, right? But in doing so, it'll let you, it's sort of a litmus test to let you know where you're spending your emotions, what you're neglecting, and how to put things back into balance. Okay, so that's the most important thing. That's why full moons are so illuminating. They open your eyes to what's not working or where things are not balanced. And if we're talking about Cancer and Capricorn, it's definitely going to be about our private life. It's definitely going to be about our public life and where we're spending our emotional energy. All right, let's keep it moving. So next up on January 12th, we have Mars going direct in Gemini. So I already pretty much talked about this before, right? Sorry, my notes are all over the place. Yeah, okay. So I pretty much talked about this before. Look in your natal chart to see where Gemini is, okay? That's where you probably experience an adrenaline boost in August around the end of the summer. Then in October, things kind of slowed down a bit. You got a little sluggish, you got a little lazy, you got a little less than motivated. And now we have Mars going direct in Gemini, all right? So we're going to be amped. We're going to be motivated. We're going to want to do the most, all right? Our brains are going to be firing on all cylinders. Expect to have a lot of ideas. Expect to feel motivated to start a lot of things. You're going to find the need to want to multitask, but here's the thing. Anytime you have Mars energy, you're talking about very quick, fast energy. This is energy that's like a firecracker, right? Great for starting, not great for continuing. Okay. So if there's something that you're really passionate about and that you really want to see through to the long term, it's going to be really important that you maintain a certain level of motivation, okay? Even when Mars leaves Gemini, you're going to want to do whatever you need to do to stay motivated. So try not to put your energy in too many baskets, all right? Try to focus your energy as much as possible. Even if you want to do 10 things, why don't you just start out by doing 2? And if by doing 2 and you keep going with it, you're going to see things come to fruition rather than trying to do 10 and doing 10 half-assed things, right? Yeah. So yeah, I wouldn't expect to be completely focused, but this is going to allow you to perhaps see things in a new way, okay? Especially when it comes to different ideas. So again, you're going to want to take a look at where Gemini is in your natal chart because that is where all of this will be going down. And again, Mars will be going direct in Gemini on January 12th. All right, let's see what we got next. So next up, we've got Mercury going direct in Capricorn, and that's going down on January 18th. So it hasn't happened yet. It's actually going to happen tomorrow at the time that I'm filming this. But Mercury is actually going to go retrograde in Capricorn on December 29th. Now, many people have been feeling the effects of this Mercury retrograde since the beginning of December, okay? Mercury in Capricorn. Mercury retrograde in Capricorn was really about taking a look at your past successes and your past achievements, things related to work, business, your social status. All of that stuff may be coming up for review when Mercury goes retrograde in Capricorn. Okay, Mercury is going to be retrograde from December 29th to January 18th. Then on January 18th, it's going to go direct, okay? And when Mercury goes direct in Capricorn, this is about thinking practically about success and achievement. This is about thinking about what's relevant and what's not in your life. Capricorn is a very practical earth sign. So when you have a planet like Mercury in Capricorn, our thoughts and our conversations are not fluffy. They're not superfluous. They're really to the point and they're really designed to be practical and down to earth, okay? And a lot of what we think about and talk about has to do with business, has to do with our career, perhaps has to do with things related to government or the structures in our life. That's really what's our concern when Mercury is in Capricorn, especially when it's direct. Communication is direct. It's all about the bottom line. You may find that you talk a lot more about money. You talk a lot more about business when Mercury is in Capricorn. But I think the best use of the energy of Mercury being direct in Capricorn is making plans for the future, because you're going to be in a very realistic frame of mind. This isn't where you're thinking pie in the sky and you're not being very imaginative. You're being realistic. And so you're making plans that you can actually implement, follow so that you can achieve success. Okay. It's also a great time to teach, to advise, and to mentor. So if you're looking to mentor or find a mentor, Mercury in Capricorn is a great time for that. Again, this is where you plan ahead, you think about next steps, and you get yourself organized to move forward. All right. So then next up, we have the Sun entering Aquarius on January 20th, officially signaling Aquarius season. Okay, so remember I said before, Capricorn season, it's really about our structures. It's about our success. It's about really taking a practical look at our life and what we'd like to achieve. Aquarius allows us to think outside of the box, especially when it comes to improving ourselves and improving our circumstances. Aquarius energy is great for that. So when the Sun is in Aquarius, many people may find that there's things about themselves, their identity, their personality that they want to improve or that they want to tinker with or change a little bit. We're really motivated by our hunger for knowledge, experience, and originality. One of the characteristic traits of Aquarius energy is that it stands out. It is unique and it is original. And so many of us are looking for ways that we can shine originally, ways that we can stand apart from the crowd, ways that we can improve ourselves for the better. All right. Aquarius energy is also concerned with humanity. So many of us may be thinking in terms of groups, maybe communing with like-minded people, maybe working together with other people for the betterment of humanity. Lots of people find themselves doing things like that when the sun is in Aquarius, okay? But more so than anything else, during Aquarius season, it's like you want to break free from tradition. You want to do new things, experience new things. You want to forge your own path, okay? And Aquarius season is definitely the best time to do that, right? And again, the sun will be moving into Aquarius on January 20th. And then next up, we've got the new moon of the month, which is also going down in Aquarius. And that's going down on Friday, January 21st, okay? And so with the new moon, it's all about setting new intentions and planting new seeds. It's when the sun and the moon are conjunct. So the sun and the moon are going to be conjunct at 1 degree Aquarius. And it's very important that it's at the first degree. The first degree is the degree of initiation. It's the degree of taking action to start something new. So take a look at where Aquarius is in your chart. It's going to be where you're going to want to start something new and innovative in your life. It may be where you want to improve upon something in your life. And you can do this in a very bold and dynamic way at the new moon in Aquarius. Okay, so it's a great time to really start something new, start something original, invent something new. By and large, when it comes to this new moon in Aquarius, you definitely want to think outside the box. Even if you find yourself trying to improve on something that already exists, I feel like the best use of the new moon in Aquarius is to start something that's never been done before, something that's completely original, okay? Not only will it give you emotional satisfaction, I feel like it'll be received well by people because people are in the mindset of originality, okay? So it's a great time to really start something new, okay? It's also a time of unexpected things and like flashes of insight. Because although Aquarius is ruled traditionally by Saturn, the modern ruler of Aquarius is Uranus. And Uranus is all about surprises. So for some, this may be a situation where, they say necessity is the mother of invention, right? Like you'll be put in a really shitty situation and you have to come up with a way to get out of it. It's not to say that anything necessarily bad is going to happen at this new moon, but the way that this energy may work is that you're put in a situation or something may happen that requires you to be innovative, that requires you to use your ingenuity to start something new. So if that happens, don't just chalk it up to it being a shitty situation and not doing anything about it. It's really the universe's way of getting you to flex your mental muscles and come up with something new and original. So if that's the case, keep your eyes open, right? It may be surprising. It may be a little triggering, right? However, it's going to give you the opportunity to bend your mind, right? It's going to give you the opportunity to stretch your mind and come up with something new and innovative. So keep that in mind with that new moon in Aquarius. All right. And then moving right along. Next up on January 22nd, we have Uranus going direct in Taurus, okay? And wasn't I just talking about Uranus? Uranus is the modern ruler of Aquarius. And Uranus is all about, I call it the hand of God because it's about sudden changes. It's about unexpected things. It's also a little chaotic, right? It's a little chaotic energy. Now, Uranus takes about 8 years to go through a sign, and Uranus is currently in Taurus. It first entered Taurus back in 2018, so it's here to stay in Taurus until 2026. It's been retrograde for a couple of months, definitely since the summertime, I believe. And now on January 22nd, it's going to be going direct. So I want you to look at where Taurus is in your natal chart. And let me rewind for a second. Perhaps you're watching this and you're like, listen, you talking about this natal chart thing. I don't know what you're talking about. I know about it, but I don't have it. I don't know where to get it. If you need to get your natal chart, you're going to want to go to a site like astro.com. That's astro.com. You're going to need your birth date, your birth time, and your birth location. And honey, when I tell you need your birth time, the more precise you can get with your birth time, the more accurate your natal chart will be. You can put in those 3 pieces of information and it will generate a natal chart for you. You'll be able to see which houses are what, where the planets are, all of that good stuff. All right. So for Uranus going direct in Taurus, you're going to want to look at where Taurus is in your chart. So when Uranus first entered Taurus back in 2018, this was the area of your life that may have had a lot of sudden changes. There may have been a lot of chaos in that area of your life because Uranus is chaotic energy. It's the energy of creation. It's the energy of, like I said, the hand of God. It's like a thunderstorm in your life, right? And when Uranus is retrograde, that thunderstorm subsides. So for the last 6 or 7 months, while Uranus has been retrograde, things in that area of your life that are governed by Taurus, right, have been kind of not as exciting. It hasn't been as chaotic, all right? But with Uranus going direct, this is going to reignite that chaos. Expect the unexpected, expect sudden shifts, expect things moving around, chance encounters, things coming out of nowhere. It's not all bad though. It can actually be a really good thing. The hand of God always works in your favor. Okay, never forget that. So anything that's changing in your life, especially in that area of your life that is governed by Taurus, that stuff is going to start to get a little more erratic now that Uranus is going direct. Okay, and again, it's all good. And that starts on January 22nd. And then finally, we close out the month with Venus moving into its sign of exaltation, Pisces. Okay, and that's going down on January 26th. So when a planet is in the sign of its exaltation, imagine like it's like being invited to a party that is thrown just for you. So you are the guest of honor. You're treated with the utmost respect. You are pampered. You are treated like a king or a queen, right? So when Venus is in Pisces, that's exactly how she is treated. And when you're treated like a queen, when you have a party in your honor, when you are the guest of honor, you can do whatever you want. You're super comfortable. You can be you. And that's exactly what Venus does in Pisces. Venus in Pisces is all about love. It's lovey-dovey. It's feel good. It's tender. It's affectionate. It's your romance novel kind of love. And for some people, that may be amazing. And for other people, it may make you sick to your stomach. Okay. It can be a bit intense, right? But I think it's nice. I think it's all good. I think it's a wonderful transit to get people to believe in love again. Okay. Pisces is all about faith. It's all about belief. And Venus in Pisces, it allows you to believe in love again. I don't know about you, but lately, like on my Instagram feed and even on my YouTube feed, I see a lot of people complaining about relationships, complaining about men in relationships, complaining about women in relationships. It almost makes you feel like, I don't even want to be in a relationship if all of this craziness is going on. But I feel like Venus in Pisces, it's definitely going to get you to believe in love again. It's going to get you to think about love on a higher level. Rather than just thinking about it on a one-to-one kind of relationship level, Venus in Pisces allows you to have love for your fellow man, to see the humanity in people, to have faith in humanity again. So it's actually a really beautiful transit if you allow it to be and if you sort of tap into that energy. Now, one of the things that you have to be mindful of with Venus in Pisces is that Venus in Pisces has absolutely no boundaries. Venus in Pisces loves everybody. Venus in Pisces has its arms open wide, ready to receive anybody. And that could lead you to getting hurt. It could lead you to getting taken advantage of. So we want to still believe in love, have faith in love, but we also need to have personal boundaries. And we need to protect ourselves to a certain extent. All right. So keep that in mind with Venus in Pisces. Venus in Pisces, on like the sort of negative side, it can also be very like victimish and very like martyr-ish. Okay. So people may really be playing up the victim. People may definitely be, either wolf in sheep's clothing or getting got by the wolf in sheep's clothing, or people can tend to be a little bit aloof and elusive, almost like they seem like they want to have a relationship, but they don't solidify it. Like the relationship lives in their head, but it doesn't live in reality, if that makes any sort of sense. So those are the things you'll want to be mindful of when Venus is in Pisces, but otherwise it's a very beautiful transit. And not only do we end the month with Venus in Pisces, Venus in Pisces is also going to be around during Valentine's Day. Okay, so that's going to be pretty interesting to see play out. All right, so but I'm getting ahead of myself because that's February and that's not for another month. But yeah, I think we end the month on a very beautiful note. All right, so now I'm going to get into the specific signs. All right. Each sign, I'm going to give you a synopsis of what January has in store for you. Keep in mind, these are done by rising sign. All right. And again, if you don't know your rising sign, you're going to want to go to a site like astro.com, astro.com, put in your birth time, date, location. It'll generate a natal chart for you. And in your natal chart, you will see the abbreviation AS or ASC. That is your ascendant, aka your rising sign. Okay. And just by way of information, anytime you're like watching a horoscope or reading a horoscope, it's always done by your rising sign. So it really behooves you to know your rising sign and get very comfortable with it. All right. And also, this tends to go for a while, right? We're already at the 50-minute mark. And so if you're a sign like Pisces rising or Aquarius rising, your sign isn't coming up for a while. So in an effort to get you to pay attention and let you know where I'm at, anytime you hear this sound, that'll let you know that I have changed signs. Okay. So if I'm at like Gemini and you're like, oh, I'm not going to listen until Capricorn, know that when I play this sound, I will have changed signs. All right. So without further ado, let's get into it. And we always start at the beginning, and that is with Aries. So we've got Aries rising. All right, let me just change my notes real quick. All right. So Aries rising, these are the areas of focus for you in January. So we've got your 10th house of career, your 11th house of friendship and goals, your 3rd house of ideas and conversations, and your 4th house of home and family. All right. So during Capricorn season, that's going to be all about your 10th house. All right. So in the beginning of the month, you're going to be focusing on your career, your reputation, career opportunities coming back around. Because remember, Mercury is also going to be retrograde and will go direct in Capricorn. So you may find that while Mercury is retrograde, old career opportunities are coming back. This is going to give you the opportunity to redo or revise past business plans, career goals and achievements and things like that. So Capricorn season is going to find you heavily focused on your career. And then come Aquarius season, the energy is going to shift into your 11th house of friends and goals. So the second part of January will likely find you being social. It'll likely find you communing with like-minded people. This is where you're going to get into group activities. You're going to be thinking of new ways to improve your life, or especially when it comes to the goals and the things that you want to achieve in life. Okay. This is going to be about setting yourself up for the future and breaking away from traditions and structures. All right. And then when Mars goes direct, this is going to light up your 3rd house. Okay. So your 3rd house is about ideas and conversations. So right when Mars goes direct and until March, I believe the middle of March, when Mars exits Gemini, you may find that that first part of the year is very busy for you. Anytime you have planets transiting your 3rd house, a lot of activity usually follows, whether it's a lot of activity in your neighborhood or whether like you're just talking to a lot of people, communicating with people a lot. You may be transacting business a lot, okay? What I like about Mars in Gemini in your 3rd house for you, Aries, is that it gives you the motivation to learn new skills. So I find that between January and March, you may be trying to like learn a new language or learn a new skill or learn something new that you could immediately put to use in your life. Okay. Now just keep in mind, you don't want to overdo it. Try to pick like one or two skills. Don't try to do 10 at one time. All right. But I find that this month, learning new skills and just a lot of busybody and social activity is what's going to be happening for you when Mars goes direct in Gemini. And then finally, that full moon in Cancer is going down in your 4th house of home and family. So at that time, you may find that things related to home and family are illuminated. Okay. Maybe you're finding something out about family. Maybe a family secret is uncovered. Maybe a situation is going to trigger you into having conversations with family with respect to your basic emotional needs. On the other hand, because the 4th house covers homes and property, you may find that a home project is coming to completion. You may also find that maybe you are at the closing stage of buying a property, or maybe you are changing residences. Any of those things are up for grabs with the 4th house with the full moon in your 4th house of Cancer. All right. So I find that you have a kind of a mixed bag this month. You've got some work stuff going on. You've got some improvement and some socializing. Definitely by the second half of the month, you guys are going to be hella busy. There's going to be a lot of activity around. And then you're going to have some focus on home life. Okay. This may even be the balance between home life and work life. This full moon in Cancer may find you having to balance work and home. All right. So that is January for you, Aries. Let's keep it moving to the next sign. All right. So next up, we've got Taurus rising. All right, Taurus. So for you in January, the areas of focus are your 9th house of spirituality, your 10th house of career, your 11th house of friendship and goals, and your 3rd house of ideas and conversations. So during Capricorn season, this is going to light up your 9th house of long distance travel and spirituality. So the 9th house is all about expanding your mind. It's all about new adventures. It's about long distance travel. Now, with this being Capricorn, it's actually a great time for you guys to actually plan a trip, right? Plan a trip to someplace you've never been before, or someplace that's far overseas. For others, you may find that Capricorn season may have you taking a practical look at your spirituality, okay? Maybe you're learning from someone. Maybe you are implementing new spiritual practices into your life in a practical way. That may be how the sun in Capricorn expresses itself. So Mercury is also going to be retrograde and going direct in Capricorn in January. So you may find that perhaps there was a trip that you were trying to take. Maybe there was a trip you were trying to take during like the pandemic, right? And now you can finally take it, or now you're rebooking this trip. There may be something related to spirituality from your past that may be coming back around. Maybe it's a spiritual advisor, a priest, or a pastor. Maybe it's some sort of religious practice or ideology that you find yourself reverting back to while Mercury is retrograde, okay? That's pretty much how that 9th house Capricorn energy is going to be working for you in January. And then come Aquarius season, is going to be all about career, because Aquarius is your 10th house of career. So this may be ways in which you are improving your career. You may be looking for innovative ways to get promoted or to implement innovative new things in your job. For some, if you're like a business owner, this may be implementing new and improved business ideas, especially business ideas that are geared toward the future. With Venus being in Aquarius as well, you may find yourself networking with people who are future-minded or who think along the same lines as you in order to change things and improve things either in your life or at work, okay? Now, the new moon is also going to be in Aquarius. So at that time, you're going to want to focus on intentions related to your career, your reputation, or your social standing. Okay. And then you guys are also going to have an emphasis on the 11th house when Venus moves into Pisces. So Taurus is ruled by Pisces. So Venus making these moves throughout January are going to affect you and Libra more than any other signs, because you two are the signs that are ruled by Venus. So when Venus is in Pisces, that's going to be your house of friendship and goals. Okay. Now, I love this for you because this allows you to believe in love again, especially if love or relationships is a goal or ambition that you want to have in your life. I feel like this is also great energy for friendship and finding where you fit in with people. If you've been feeling lonely, if you've been feeling like you're on the outskirts of life or on the outskirts of things, I feel like Venus in Pisces is going to be great for you to make friends and find where you fit in and where you belong, okay? Then with the full moon in Cancer, this is going to light up your third house of communication and ideas. So you may find that around the time of the full moon, things around you start to get really busy, whether it's in your immediate vicinity or whether it's in your neighborhood. There just may be a lot of activity, or you're just going to notice activity a lot more in those areas. This may have something to do with something that you need to learn. It may have something to do with your siblings or your extended family members, or you may be called to take a short distance trip, like a real quick trip, someplace you've probably been before, okay? But by and large, I feel like the full moon in Cancer is really going to illuminate things that are right around you, things that are right under your nose, okay? And it may be a little triggering because maybe what's under your nose doesn't necessarily make you feel good, or maybe what's under your nose doesn't fulfill your basic emotional needs. But the good thing is the full moon illuminates these things to bring them to your attention so that you can change them, okay? Now, because the full moon is about the balance, it's about finding balance, right? You may have to find balance between what you know and what you believe, okay? Because the third house covers knowledge, the ninth house, which is across from the third house, covers wisdom and belief, okay? So knowing versus believing may be how the full moon in Cancer works out for you, okay? So by and large for you, Taurus, January is going to be a month that has a lot to do with spirituality. There's going to be this faith element to it, especially with Sun in Capricorn in your ninth house and Venus in Pisces in your 11th house. So spirituality and faith may be a big thing for you. There's also this energy of a renewal of faith, perhaps in love, being able to fit in with a group and find your place with people. And also figuring out what you know versus what you believe and how to strike a balance between the two. All right, that's the essence of January for you guys. All right, let's keep it moving. And we are now up to Gemini. Let me take a drink of water first. All right. Gemini rising. For you, the areas of focus for January are your 8th house of intimacy, your 9th house of spirituality, your 1st house of self, and your 2nd house of money and assets. So during Capricorn season, the focus is going to be on your 8th house of intimacy. So this could be intimacy in terms of your sexual relationships or your closest, most intimate relationships. But because we're talking about Capricorn energy, 8th house also covers shared resources and things like debt, mortgages, loans, and stuff like that. So I feel like Capricorn season may find you getting these things in order or trying to achieve these things. Maybe you're trying to get a loan. Maybe you're trying to refinance your mortgage. Maybe you're trying to get your life insurance on track. Any of those sort of things are very much fair game for Capricorn season. And with Mercury being retrograde and going direct in Capricorn, these things from the past may be coming back around. Like let's say you had a tax issue, a tax debt may come up for you while Mercury is retrograde. Maybe there's issues with your paperwork with respect to a will or an insurance policy. Those things may come back around when Mercury is retrograde. Okay. So by and large, Capricorn in the 8th house during Capricorn season for you guys, it may be filled with a lot of paperwork. It may be filled with trying to go through things, make order of things, make sense of things. It may also find you trying to obtain funding, okay? Because the 8th house also covers other people's money and other people's resources. So with Capricorn being a cardinal sign, this may be a time where you're trying to get funding for perhaps a business, or maybe you're looking to get a grant or something like that. Basically, you're looking to get your hands on other people's money. So Capricorn season would be a great time to try to get that going, especially if you tried in the past and it didn't work out. That Mercury retrograde energy can really help you revive whatever it is that you were trying to do before. All right. And then come Aquarius season, it's going to be all about your 9th house of spirituality and long distance travel. Okay. So this is about learning new things, opening your mind and broadening your horizons. Some of you may go on an intellectual journey of sorts where you're learning new, innovative and exciting things. Okay. This may be a great time to travel to someplace completely different and off the beaten path. Okay. When it comes to spirituality and faith, you may be looking to experience these things without the labels, if that makes any sense. Okay. I feel like Aquarius in the 9th house is like being spiritual, but not being tied down to a particular ideology. It's more about the experience of spirituality, the experience of God, the experience of the universe. So you may find that Aquarius season is all about that for you. All right. Then when Mars goes direct in Gemini, this is going to be in your 1st house of self. So I feel like when Mars first entered Gemini, you guys were probably trying to do the most. You probably were trying to work out. You were trying to look different. You had a different attitude. Your thoughts were going a mile a minute. And then by the time Mars went retrograde, like you weren't working out as much, you weren't as hyped, you weren't as amped, all those things I mentioned before. But now that Mars is going direct, you're going to get a battery in your back once again. And it's time to learn new things, work out, change your body. And the 1st house covers the self, right? It covers your thoughts. It covers your outlook on life and by and large, your physical appearance. So anything you're trying to change or any desire you have for your body is something that you may want to achieve when Mars is direct in Gemini. This may include surgery. Okay. So if you're looking to get some body work done, hopefully you didn't get it done while Mars was retrograde because it was probably a botched job. I'm not even going to lie to you. But the fact that Mars is now direct, you kind of have the green light to go get that BBL or go get calf implants, whatever it is that you're trying to do. All of that stuff is good to go when Mars is direct in Gemini. All right. And then finally, that full moon in Cancer is going to highlight your 2nd house of money and material possessions. So at that time, money matters, investments, saving, big ticket items, physical, tangible things are going to come into focus. Like they're going to be illuminated, right? So that Cancer Capricorn axis for you, Gemini, it has to do with your personal money, like your money on the one end and other people's money on the other. Okay. So with this full moon in Cancer, it may trigger you because money issues may come up, right? Maybe you have to spend money. Maybe you realize that you've been, blowing money on something that hasn't been working out for you, right? This may be the time for you to get things in alignment and get things back on track, okay? Or maybe this may highlight the fact that maybe you need to start asking for help when it comes to money. Like if you're in a relationship and you're kind of just footing the bill or you're doing everything on your own, maybe this full moon is going to show you that it's okay to rely on someone else for financial assistance or someone else to contribute to the expenses and things like that. But by and large for you, the full moon in Cancer is going to be all about money and possessions. All right. So for you, January is also a mixed bag, right? I think you've got a lot of money issues coming up because you do have a focus on your 2nd house and your 8th house. So other people's money, your money, a lot of money issues are going to be coming up for you in January. There's also going to be the ability for you to expand your mind, experience things in new and exciting ways, and also make improvements to yourself, whether it's your attitude and your outlook on life, or whether it's your physical body and your appearance. All right, so that is January for you in a nutshell. Let's keep it moving. All right, so next up, we've got Cancer rising. All right, Cancer, so for you, the areas of focus in January are your 7th house of relationships, your 8th house of intimacy, your 12th house of the unknown, and your 1st house of self. Okay. So during Capricorn season, it's going to be all about relationships for you. Okay. But not lovey dovey, loving and tender. This is really more so about the practicality of relationships. Do these relationships make sense in your life? Do they make rational sense? Do they fit in your life in a practical sort of way? Now, it doesn't just cover romantic relationships. Seventh house covers relationships of not all kinds, but relationships to which you are bound, meaning that contractual relationships, business relationships, marriages, and, committed long-term relationships. Now, with Mercury retrograde in Capricorn in your seventh house, this is going to be a situation where relationships from the past may be coming back around, okay? Most people always say, oh, when Mercury retrograde happens, your ex comes back. And it's not always the case. It depends on where it's going down in your chart. And for you, Mercury retrograde could really bring an ex back, or it could bring back a situation like a contractual obligation from the past, or maybe even responsibilities from the past may be coming back around while Mercury is retrograde. Then when the sun moves into Aquarius, this is going to light up your eighth house of intimacy and shared resources. So let's say that you do have a relationship, maybe even a relationship from the past. I feel like this time around, you're going to be thinking about it in ways that are different. Maybe you don't want to have a title. Maybe you don't want to be boxed in. Maybe you want to create your own definition for what your relationship looks and feels like. Okay. It's about innovation in relationships. Now, it's also because the eighth house also covers things like shared resources, things like astrology, your psyche, things like are taboo or the occult. You may be learning about these things. So I feel like for you in particular, Cancer, I feel like Aquarius season is a great time for you to learn about occult subjects, to learn about astrology. I feel like your mind is going to be a lot more receptive to it at that time. It's also a great way. I feel like Aquarius season is going to also be a great time for you to connect with people on a deeper sort of level, but intellectually. It's like you can really find the people that are attuned to the same wavelength as you. So you can really build relationships that are substantive and long lasting based on your ideology and how you think about things. Okay. So you have the ability to form some new relationships or even strengthen existing relationships during Aquarius season. Then when Mars goes direct in Gemini, this is going to be your 12th house of the unknown. Okay. So here's the thing for you in particular. Anytime you have 12th house energy or 12th house activity, a lot of times things are happening and you just can't see them. You are not privy to them because it's the house of the unknown. It requires you to have faith, okay? And with Mars direct in your 12th house, this could really be your spirit team going to war for you, okay? And you have no idea. You know how sometimes you see those memes or you see those things on social media where it's like a picture of the one thing that comes to mind is like someone's walking down the street and you see a whole bunch of angels. They're like pushing people out of the way. They're like moving things and the person has no idea, right? That's the essence of Mars in Gemini in your 12th house. It's your spirit team doing the most on your behalf and you have like no idea about it, okay? But what you may notice is that your sleep patterns become disruptive, okay? You may have found that while Mars was retrograde, you might have been really sleepy a lot, or you're just very lethargic and sluggish, like physically. But I feel like with Mars going direct in Gemini, you guys may have insomnia, you may have issues sleeping, or your dream state is going to be extremely, extremely vivid, okay? So pay attention to your dreams. Keep a dream journal next to your bed because I feel like you guys are going to get a lot of messages during your dream state, okay? And then finally, we have that full moon in Cancer going down in your sign, and that is your first house. So you may find that at the full moon, many things related to you, to your attitude, your outlook, maybe even your physical appearance or your physical body may become illuminated to you. Now, that full moon is all about striking a balance, right? That balance between Cancer and Capricorn. And for you, this plays out between your first house and your seventh house. So the full moon is going to be about your own basic emotional needs on the one hand, and your partner's basic emotional needs on the other, and finding the balance between the two. Are you nurturing yourself more than your partner, or vice versa? Are you nurturing your partner more than yourself? I feel like the full moon is going to illuminate that for you. Even if it doesn't, full moons are all about completion. So maybe a personal goal that you have is coming to completion. Maybe something with respect to your body or your physical appearance is coming to completion. Okay, that's how that full moon in Cancer is going to work out for you. So for you, Cancer, you've got this first house, seventh house energy in January. You have this me versus them energy, me versus my partner energy, and finding the balance between the two. I feel like when it comes to communicating with people and when it comes to connecting with people, you have the ability to connect with people on a very deep and substantive level based on your ideas and your ideologies. And then finally, I feel like your spirit team is really going to be going to bat for you in January. Like a lot is going to be going on behind the scenes. I feel like you guys are going to be protected. I feel like whatever is needed to be knocked out of the way for you to continue moving forward safely will be done so by your spirit team. And I also feel like they've got a lot to talk to you about during the dream state. So again, keep a dream journal because your dreams are going to be extremely vivid. All right, so let's keep it moving. Next up, we've got Leo rising. All right, Leo. So for you, the areas of focus in January are your sixth house of work and health, your seventh house of relationships, your 11th house of friendship and goals, and your 12th house of the unknown. So during Capricorn season, this is going to light up your sixth house of work and health. Okay. And so the work, by work, it means the work that you do on a daily basis. It's not your career. It's the job that you do on a daily basis or your daily responsibilities. So this is going to be taking a practical look at work and health. Maybe there are things at work that you want to achieve. Maybe you want to get a promotion at work. Maybe you want to get new clients or customers or something like that. I feel like Capricorn season is the best time to focus on those things. Now, with Mercury being retrograde in Capricorn in January, work matters from the past may be coming back around, or past health matters may be coming back around. Okay. Now here's the thing with Mercury retrograde. It allows you to redo things. So when it comes to work, maybe something didn't work out in the past. Mercury retrograde gets you to redo it and redo it better. Same thing with health. Maybe a health issue. Maybe you weren't attacking a health issue or addressing a health issue in the right way or in a way that was conducive to healing and being healthy. I feel like Mercury retrograde allows you to redo, maybe revamp your health regimen, revamp your diet so that you are healthier and you no longer have some of the health issues that you may have been suffering from in the past. Okay. Then during Aquarius season, this is going to light up your seventh house of relationships. Okay, so the sun, Venus, and the new moon are going to be in Aquarius. So this is about experiencing personal freedom in your relationships, doing things maybe in not so much a traditional way. Okay. And maybe if you are already in a relationship where this applies, it may be sort of putting a focus on that, right? Or maybe if you're single and you're looking for a committed relationship, you may want to commune with people who think the same way that you do. If you're someone who enjoys freedom in relationships, you wouldn't want to get with someone who's codependent and clingy, right? You need to find people that think the same way that you do. And so Aquarius season may find you trying to find those people or hanging out with those people or dating those people, okay? And also not just romantic relationships, but in your contractual obligations, you may want to do things in a non-traditional sort of way. So maybe in Aquarius season, you are putting deals together that don't look like other people's deals. You are putting deals together and doing collaborations in a new and innovative sort of way, and in a way that is geared toward the future. You may be implementing different types of futuristic technology in these business dealings and things like that. So that may be the focus for you during Aquarius season. And with the new moon in Aquarius, if you are looking for brand deals or if you're looking for a forever boo, that is the time when you're going to want to plant those seeds and set those intentions, okay? Then when Mars goes direct in Gemini, this is going to be in your 11th house of friendship and goals, okay? So whatever goals, whatever plans, whatever big dreams you had for your life, I feel like when Mars first entered Gemini, you were really amped about it, right? But then when Mars went retrograde, you kind of lost track or you kind of got distracted. But with Mars finally going back direct in Gemini, I feel like everything's going to be back on track. You've got a fresh battery in your back and you're motivated to achieve the dreams and the lifelong goals that you envision for yourself. It's also a great time to reconnect with people. Perhaps when Mars first went into Gemini, you guys were very gung-ho about making new friends or joining new groups. And of course, when Mars went retrograde, that kind of fell by the wayside. But now that Mars is going direct, now's a great time to reach out and commune with new people, make new friends, join new groups, network with people, start new projects with people. It's going to be a really good time for that. And then finally, the full moon in Cancer is going down in your 12th house of the unknown. So this means that a secret may be uncovered, like a real deal secret, something that you may have never saw coming may be uncovered. But by and large, the full moon in Cancer is going to be about resting and recharging for you. Your dream state may be extremely active, so it would behoove you to sleep a little more. Also keep a dream journal because I feel like your dream state is going to be extremely active, okay? And then there may be something in your midst. There may be something around you that may come to a completion, but you just won't be able to see it yet. It may be something that's going to uncover itself over time. The way I like to think about a full moon in the 12th house is kind of like as above, so below. When the full moon occurs in your 12th house, the as above part is taken care of, right? So things manifest in the spiritual realm before they manifest here on earth. So I feel like when you have a full moon in the 12th house, the manifestation of whatever it is occurs in the spiritual realm, and you sort of have to wait for it to manifest on the earthly plane. Okay, so it's something that may take a while to uncover. So you just kind of have to be patient. But I also feel like, again, you're going to want to sleep a little more. You're going to want to pay attention to your dreams because you may get glimpses of this. They may even show you the manifestation in the spiritual realm while you are sleeping. I know that's definitely happened to me, particularly when I've had full moons transiting my 12th house or in my 12th house. I've seen things before they happen on the earthly realm. I see them in my dreams. And a lot of times that happens during a full moon in your 12th house. So definitely pay attention to whatever your dreams tell you around that time. All right. So Leo, we're still on Leo, right? I feel like for you, January has this mix of being social, right? We've got this 11th house energy with Mars going direct, and you're able to commune with different people and make new friends. You also have this 7th house of relationships. So I feel like you could also be social in terms of, contractual obligations and contractual deals, as well as relationships. There's either a focus on keeping your existing relationships innovative and fresh and outside of the box, or finding someone who thinks the same way as you when it comes to relationships. I also feel like there's going to be an opportunity to revisit work and health matters during Capricorn season, and particularly when Mercury is retrograde in Capricorn. And then finally, with that full moon in Cancer, you guys are going to have an active dream state, and there may be a lot going on behind the scenes, but you're just going to have to wait and see how it unfolds in the future. All right, so let's keep it moving. So next up, we've got Virgo rising. All right, Virgo. So for you, the areas of focus in January are your 5th house of romance and children, your 6th house of work and health, your 10th house of career, and your 11th house of friendship and goals. All right. So, first up, during Capricorn season, this is going to light up your fifth house of romance and children. The fifth house is the house of fun. Okay. It's the house of lighthearted energy. It's the house where you follow your heart. So, I feel like Capricorn season is actually going to be pretty fun for you, pretty lighthearted. You may either be doing creative things, you may be focused on romance and dating, or you may be focused on children, your own children, or maybe if you have significant children in your life, you may be focused on them during Capricorn season. This kind of plays well into the whole holiday season. I feel like for you in particular, holiday season tends to be pretty fun and full of lighthearted energy. Okay. Now, with Mercury being retrograde, you guys, along with, I can't forget the other sign that I did. It must have been Cancer. You and Cancer have exes coming back, right? Because the fifth house covers romance. And so if we're talking about Mercury retrograde, you may have romantic partners coming back around, okay? So you know what to do. You know whether to engage with these people or not. It's all up to you. You can do whatever. But because this is going down in Capricorn, the way for you to think about it is think about it from a practical standpoint, okay? Even though the fifth house is all about following your heart, because the energy is Capricorn, like don't neglect your common sense. This person may be coming back around and they're saying all the right things and making you feel a certain way. But if they don't fit practically into your life, if it doesn't make rational sense to be with this person, then maybe you shouldn't you shouldn't get back on the horse. All right. So just keep that in mind. Take your common sense with you. All right. Now, in terms of the fifth house, it also covers creative endeavors. So with Mercury retrograde, this may give you the opportunity to redo something creative, or maybe there was something creative that you used to do in the past. Mercury retrograde is going to allow you to pick that back up, which can be extremely satisfying. And even though it's Capricorn, a lot of the energy may be conducive to monetizing a hobby, right? How can I make money from this hobby? Which is all well and good, right? But what I love about fifth house energy is that it's lighthearted. It's about following your heart. So maybe this is just a hobby that provides a nice escape for you. Maybe it's a hobby that just makes you feel good. Don't necessarily approach it from the sense of, I have to make money from this. This has to be my 18th side hustle or whatever it is. If you have something that you really love to do and it makes you feel good, just do it for the sake of doing it. Especially if you used to do it in the past. I feel like if it comes back around, or if you start to think about it again, I think like it'll bring you a lot of emotional satisfaction. And then come Aquarius season, this is going to highlight your sixth house of work and health. Okay, so work and health matters are going to come into focus, but approaching them in new and innovative ways. Okay, this may also be, in terms of work, this may also be networking with different people, innovative people who think like you, attracting customers and clients in new and innovative sort of ways. That may be the focus of Aquarius season. And with the new moon in Aquarius, if you're looking for a new job, if you're looking for a promotion, if you're looking to start a new diet or health regimen, you're going to want to plant those seeds at that new moon in Aquarius. Okay. The sixth house is also about service. So you may find that Aquarius season has you thinking about new and innovative ways to be of service to others. Now, when Mars goes direct in Gemini, this is going to be in your 10th house of career. So I can almost guarantee that when Mars first went into Gemini back in August, when it came to career, you were trying to do the most. You probably had 1,000,001 ideas. Your mind was firing on all cylinders. You were trying to do all the things, all right, to get ahead, to make more money, to get your business out there. But then when Mars went retrograde in October, you were tired, you were mentally exhausted, and you kind of just let things fall by the wayside. But now that Mars is going direct, you can reignite all of those things. And I feel like those passions and desires with respect to career, social mobility, even reputation, business, starting a new business, I feel like all those desires are going to be reignited. So it's going to be a great time to get back on the horse with those things. And then finally, that full moon in Cancer, this is going to be in your 11th house of friendship and goals. Okay. So things with respect to your friends or groups that you are a part of may become illuminated. Maybe a secret may come out. Maybe there may be some sort of conflict, okay? Now, because full moons are about finding balance, right? On the one hand, you've got the full moon in Cancer, which is your 11th house of friendship. On the other hand, you have the sun in Capricorn, which is your 5th house of individuality. So the balance you may have to find at this full moon is the balance between fitting in and standing out on your own. Now, because we're talking about Cancer, we're talking about emotions and basic emotional needs. Can you provide those needs to yourself? Are you self-sufficient in terms of your basic emotional needs? Or do you need those needs provided by friends or by people who think like you or act like you? I think those are the issues that are going to come up at the full moon in Cancer. Okay. So for you, Virgo, you've got this energy of in January of friendship, of camaraderie, but also of standing out, following your heart, and being an individual, perhaps being a leader in your life, okay? I feel like you're going to have the opportunity to work on your health and work matters in new and exciting ways. And also when it comes to career, you can start a lot of great new things, whether it's a business, whether you're looking for a promotion or, changing positions. I think there's a lot of new and exciting energy when it comes to your career. Just make sure that you don't burn out. Don't do too much at once. Try to be as focused as you can be and stay motivated. All right. So that's the essence of January for you, Virgo. Let's keep it moving. All right. So next up, we've got Libra rising. All right, Libra. So the areas of focus for you in January are your 4th house of home and family, your 5th house of romance and children, your 6th house of work and health, and your 10th house of career. All right, Libra. So during Capricorn season, it is going to light up your 4th house of home and family. So during this time, and it's no coincidence that's during the holidays, right? When most people do focus on home and family, I feel like you are going to be either hanging out with family, working on home matters, all of that stuff, domestic issues. With Mercury retrograde in Capricorn in your 4th house, family issues from the past may come back up. Whether you own property, even whether you rent, issues related to your physical home or property that you own, particularly from the past, may come back around, okay? Gives you the chance to redo things. With Mercury in your 4th house, Mercury retrograde in your 4th house, I feel like you can reconcile with family members that maybe you fell out with, people that you may have been close to, that may have been an active part of your life, that may not be an active part of your life at the moment. I feel like Mercury retrograde can allow you to get closer to these people if you choose to, of course. Now, the 4th house tends to cover a lot of energy related to mothers or mother figures. So issues related to your mother or mother-like energy, especially from the past, may come back around during Mercury retrograde. So I feel like January could be a little bit of an emotionally triggering month for you, because whenever we're talking about family, whenever we're talking about mothers, a lot of times we're talking about sensitive emotional issues. And with Mercury being retrograde, some of that stuff may come back up or come back around. Okay, so do your best to work through it. We all know how it can be at holiday season with family coming out their face with crazy shit, talking to you crazy. Like, it can be very emotionally triggering. Okay, so just try to do your best to make it through. Okay, and then come Aquarius season, you're going to have a lot more lighthearted energy. Remember I said before, Capricorn energy is kind of heavy, and with that energy in your 4th house, things related to home and family can feel very heavy and daunting during Capricorn season. But thankfully, come Aquarius season, the sun is going to move into your 5th house, and things are going to feel a lot more lighthearted, a lot more fun. It's going to be time for you to have fun, hang out with your kids, do things with kids, tap into your creativity and follow your heart. Okay. Now, Aquarius season actually offers the chance for new romance for you, especially because Venus is going to be in Aquarius. So if you're looking to date, if you're looking to meet new people, have fun with new people on a romantic sort of level, Venus in Aquarius is going to be great for you. All right. And then the new moon is going to be in Aquarius as well. So this is when you're going to plant new seeds and set new intentions related to anything creative that you want to take off, that you want to get off the ground or start. If you want to conceive children, do something new with children, plant those seeds at the new moon. If you're looking to do anything fun, lighthearted, anything that you're passionate about that's in alignment with your heart's truest desires, you're going to want to plant those seeds at that new moon in Aquarius. And then your ruling planet Venus is going to be moving into Pisces later on in the month. And this is going to be your 6th house of work and health. So this is going to be a time when you are very much in the mood or on that vibe of being of service to others, particularly in your daily routine. Okay. I also feel like it allows you to form new relationships centered around work or of service, or relationships that are just going to be a part of your daily routine and your daily life. I feel like in terms of health, you're going to feel hopeful and optimistic, and you may attract the right people into your life in order to help you with health matters. You could find the right doctor, you could find the right nutritionist, attracting these people to you so that you are healthy and that you are taking care of your physical well-being. Okay. And then finally, the full moon in Cancer is going down in your 10th house of career. So anything related to your career or your business, your reputation, your social standing, all of those are going to be illuminated at this particular full moon. It's also going to show you whether you are balanced in terms of your work life and your home life. Which are you giving more attention to? The full moon is definitely going to show that to you. Also, because the full moon covers or governs completion and culmination, this full moon in Cancer may find you being promoted. It may find you ending one job and moving to another. Something related to your career, your reputation, or your social standing may be coming to a completion or a fruition, and you're going to see that at the full moon. All right, Libra. So for you in January, there is a bit of heaviness when it comes to family. Again, I feel like things from the past may be coming up, so try your best to work through them. But then by the time we get to Aquarius season, things are going to be very much lighthearted and very fun and exciting, okay? I feel like you can attract the right people when it comes to work, especially because your ruling planet Venus is going to be in your 6th house. And finally, I think that things are going to start to make a lot more sense or become much more clear to you at the full moon in Cancer, especially concerning your career and your reputation. Things may start to make sense, or you may start to see where you need to put your energy going forward. All right, let's keep it moving. All right, so next up, we are up to Scorpio rising. All right, Scorpio. All right, Scorpio. So for you, the areas of focus in January are your 3rd house of ideas and conversations, your 4th house of home and family, your 8th house of intimacy, and your 9th house of spirituality. All right, so during Capricorn season, you may find the Capricorn season finds you very busy because this is going down in your 3rd house. Lots of activity in your neighborhood, in your immediate vicinity. You may have a lot of stuff going on with siblings, extended family members. You may have opportunities to learn a lot of things. You may be taking a lot of short distance trips. Or business matters may just be ramping up. A lot more emails, text messages, communication, all of that stuff is fair game during Capricorn season. Now, with Mercury being retrograde in Capricorn in your 3rd house, this is going to allow you to relearn certain skills, and specific knowledge-based skills that maybe you wanted to learn in the past but didn't get a chance to, or maybe you tried to learn it in the past and it just wasn't clicking. Mercury retrograde allows you to redo that, okay? You may find that business conversations from the past, conversations or situations with respect to siblings or extended family members may come back around during Mercury retrograde, okay? Then come Aquarius season, this is going to highlight your fourth house of home and family. Okay. So when it comes to home and family, family matters, working together, right? Because Aquarius is all about like humanity and groups. So you may find that you're working together with your family in a new way. You're trying to do new and innovative things with your family. Or maybe you're trying to define your family relationships in new ways. Maybe you don't want to stick to traditions. Maybe there's changes going on in your family, different ways that you can structure your family to sort of improve it. Okay. You may find that that's where your attention is during Aquarius season. You may be forming new traditions with family in order to prepare for the future. Maybe certain things that you've been doing in the past in your family are outdated, or they no longer work, or they're not in alignment with where you're trying to go, either individually or with your family. And I feel like Aquarius season may find you focusing on these things. Okay. So that new moon is going down in Aquarius. So if you are looking to purchase a home, change residences, move, anything related to home and property, you're going to want to plant those seeds and set those intentions at the new moon in Aquarius. And then when Mars goes direct in Gemini, this is going to be in your 8th house of intimacy. Okay. So sex may be a big thing. When Mars goes direct, you may have found that when Mars was retrograde, your libido was kind of low. But now that Mars is going direct, you may find that you're horny all the damn time. That's not a bad thing. So intimacy and sex may be a thing for you. This could also be learning about the occult, learning about astrology, things of that nature. But with the 8th house covering shared resources, Mars in Gemini may have you trying to find new ways to get other people's money. Okay. New ways of obtaining funding, making new plans. This could be a business plan. This could be a savings plan. This could be trying to get a loan, trying to get a grant. All of those things are covered under the 8th house. So you may be doing a lot of those activities when Mars goes direct in Gemini. And then finally, that full moon in Cancer is going down in your 9th house of higher education and long distance travel. Now, the 9th house also covers spirituality. Okay. So at the full moon, you may find that a legal situation may be coming to completion, because the 9th house also covers the law and legal proceedings. You may find that because the 9th house covers higher education, you may be graduating from college, grad school, law school, medical school, something like that. Okay. Things related to spirituality may be uncovered. So you may learn things that broaden your horizons or even blow your mind in terms of spirituality or philosophy. Okay. Now, because it's that finding balance, right? We've got the sun in Capricorn, the moon in Cancer. With Cancer being your 9th house, right? Capricorn is your 3rd house. So you've got the moon in your 9th house, the sun in your 3rd house. This is all about what you know versus what you believe. Okay. And I feel like that theme may come up for you at the full moon in Cancer. So for you, Scorpio, January is probably going to find you being pretty busy in the beginning of the month with a lot of 3rd house energy. Things in your immediate vicinity may be busy, or you're conducting a lot of business. And then come Aquarius season, it may be time for you to slow down a bit and focus on your private life, your home life, and your family. With Mars going direct in Gemini, I feel like your libido is going to be heightened. I feel like sex and intimacy are going to be a big thing for you when Mars goes direct. But I also find that energy can be channeled into finding new ways to obtain funding, right? So whether you are trying to get a loan, whether you are trying to get a grant or something like that, I feel like that sort of Mars in Gemini energy can be channeled into that. And then finally, I feel like the full moon in Cancer is really going to open your mind and broaden your horizons, whether it's new things that you're learning, new things that you're experiencing, or a new way of looking at spirituality. All right. So that is January for you. All right. Let us keep it moving. All right. So next up, we've got Sagittarius rising. All right, Sag. So for you, the areas of focus in January are your 2nd house of money and assets, your 3rd house of ideas and conversations, your 7th house of relationships, and your 8th house of intimacy. So during Capricorn season, it's going to be all about the money for you, okay? It's going to be about money matters, investments. Because Mercury is going to be retrograde in your second house, things from the past may be coming back around, especially with respect to money. So money opportunities, financial opportunities, investments, all of those things may be coming back around during Capricorn season, okay? Now the litmus test for the things, it's not everything that needs your attention. Everything that comes from the past doesn't need to be explored or doesn't need to be given effort, right? If you have financial opportunities that come from the past, look at it from a very common sense and practical standpoint. It may sound great at the time, but it's really not going to yield much results for you in the long run. With Capricorn energy, it's all about the long term, what can stand the test of time. So anything that comes back from the past, you want to look at it as, how long is this going to last in my life? Is this going to pay me dividends for the rest of my life? Or is this something that I'm going to make $5 today and then not make money from it again? That's sort of going to be how you want to approach any financial opportunities from the past that come back around. And then during Aquarius season, things are going to start to ramp up and get really busy for you because the sun is going to be in your third house. So you're going to be talking to a lot of people, a lot of communication, learning new skills, going on short distance travel, finding new and innovative ways to do things in your neighborhood, new and innovative ways to do business and transactions with people. Things related to siblings or extended family members may come into focus during Aquarius season, but by and large, I find that Aquarius season will likely be pretty busy for you. Then when Mars goes direct in Gemini, this is going to be in your seventh house of relationships, okay? So this is about forming new relationships and obligations, new contractual agreements, getting into new business deals with people. These are probably the areas of focus that you were motivated about. But then when Mars went retrograde, you kind of got lazy, sluggish, and kind of the desire kind of waned, right? But I feel like those desires can be reignited with Mars going direct, and it'll allow you to form new relationships. And then finally, the full moon in Cancer is going down in your 8th house, okay? And so for you, I find this full moon will probably be extremely triggering and highly emotional because probably a lot of repressed emotions may come up, or you may be in situations where you're extremely triggered emotionally and it brings up old wounds and old traumas, okay? Secrets may also come to light. Mysteries may be solved, okay? Anything concerning debt or shared resources may come to a completion. So maybe at the full moon, you find that you've paid off certain debt. Maybe there was a tax bill that you finally paid off. Maybe you paid off your mortgage. Maybe a loan was paid off. Okay. Those are the kind of things that can happen under that full moon. But by and large, I feel like the full moon in Cancer is going to be extremely, extremely emotional for you. Okay. Which is a good thing. I say it's a good thing because a lot of times we don't even know what we have repressed emotionally. We don't even know what's in our subconscious that we haven't addressed. And when the full moon triggers those things, it allows us to address them and release them for good. So make sure that during this full moon in Cancer, I feel like you guys are going to have to do some shadow work. I feel like you guys are really going to have to dig deep and do the work and get rid of the things and the emotions that you no longer need. So I feel like for you, Sag, there's an emphasis on money, especially during Capricorn season. Different financial opportunities, especially ones from the past, may be coming back around. I feel like Aquarius season is going to be very busy for you. A lot of transactions and a lot of communication. Mars direct is going to reignite your desire to be partnered up, reignite your desire for companionship, or reignite your desire and your motivations to get into different business partnerships. Okay. Now try not to spread yourself too thin. Focus on one or two and really work on nurturing those. And then finally, I feel like you're going to have the opportunity to do some soul searching and to do some shadow work with the full moon in Cancer. It may be highly emotional, but I feel like once you're able to process and get through some of those emotions, you're going to emerge a completely new person. All right, let's keep it moving. All right. Next up, we've got Capricorn rising. All right, Capricorn. So for you, the areas of focus in January are your first house of self, your second house of money and assets, your sixth house of work and health, and your seventh house of relationships. So Capricorn season is all about you, okay? And if you are a Capricorn rising who happens to also be a Capricorn sun, happy birthday. I hope that this new revolution around the sun brings you great wealth, health, abundance, love, joy, and blessings, all right? So Capricorn season is all about you. This is all about personal matters. It's all about your body, your appearance, your outlook on life, right? With Mercury going retrograde, there may be things, personal goals from the past that you want to rethink about or that come up again. You may be revamping how you think about things or your attitude, or maybe there's a style, there's a look, maybe there's a haircut, hair color, right, that you used to have in the past that maybe it's time to bring that thing back around, okay? But either way, Capricorn season, all about you, all about your first house. Then come Aquarius season, it's time to talk money. All right, it's time to make money moves during Aquarius season. Innovative ways of making money. I feel like when it comes to money and assets, you're going to be thinking about them with an eye to the future, planning for the future and trying to find new ways of doing these things. With Venus in your second house, this is about attracting the right situations and the right people in order to increase your money or increase your assets, okay? The new moon in Aquarius is going to allow you to plant new seeds and set new intentions with respect to money. So maybe you want to get a new job. Maybe you want to start a new business. Maybe you want a new investment or a new income stream. Plant those seeds at the new moon in Aquarius. When Mars goes direct in Gemini, this is going down in your sixth house of work and health, okay? So work and health matters are going to get back on track. You might have been really amped to do the most, start a new exercise regimen or a new diet, or maybe there were new things at work that you wanted to implement or get a new job even. I feel like with Mars going direct in Gemini, you're going to be reignited for those things. And again, just the same advice I'm giving to everyone is the same advice I'm giving to you. Don't spread yourself too thin. Mars in Gemini, it's like 1,000,001 ideas, wanting to start 1,000,001 projects. And while that may sound well and good, it's not practical and it doesn't allow for success, right? Because you have too much scattered energy. Try to focus your energy a bit and you can make some real headway in terms of work and health matters between January and March. And then finally, the full moon in Cancer is going down in your seventh house of relationships. So when it comes to your committed relationships, your marriages, your business partnerships, something about those things may become illuminated at the full moon. Conversely, this is the time where you may get engaged, where you may get married, where you may finally sign on the dotted line and form that partnership, okay? A contract or obligation may be coming to completion or coming to an end. But remember, the full moon is all about finding balance. And for you, the balance is going to be between your relationships on the one end and you on the other. Are your emotional needs being met via your partners, or are you self-sufficient when it comes to your emotional needs? I feel like that issue may play out for some of you at the full moon in Cancer. All right. So for you, Capricorn, January starts out cool because it's still your season. You're celebrating, you're focusing on you. And then by the time Aquarius season comes around, it's all about money and attracting the right people, places, and things to get your money up and secure the bag. All right. Mars direct in Gemini is going to allow you to make some real headway when it comes to your work and health. All right. But again, don't spread yourself too thin. Try to focus your energy and you can really go the distance. And then finally, I feel like relationship issues are going to come to the surface at the full moon in Cancer. This may show you where your emotional needs are being met and where they're not being met. This allows you to sort of address certain things in your partnerships or address certain things within yourself in order to find the partnership that you ultimately want and that will keep you emotionally satisfied. All right, Capricorn, that's January for you. Let us keep it moving. All right, next up, we've got Aquarius rising. All right, Aquarius. So the areas of focus for you in January are your 12th house of the unknown, your first house of self, your 5th house of romance and children, and your 6th house of work and health. So during Capricorn season, the sun is going to be in your 12th house. Whenever the sun is in your 12th house, that is a time of rest, right? You have to get ready for Aquarius season, which is your season, right? So Capricorn season, rest, recharge your batteries, reflect and meditate. With Mercury retrograde in your 12th house, you're going to be doing a lot of reflecting on the past, okay? A lot of thoughts from the past, thinking about what you've done, what you've achieved. I feel like you're going to be doing a lot of thinking, contemplating, reminiscing, and meditating during Capricorn season. All right, rest up because you're going to need that energy come Aquarius season, because come Aquarius season, it is all about you. And if you happen to be an Aquarius rising and an Aquarius sun, happy birthday. Again, I hope that you have a wonderful new revolution around the sun that brings you great health, wealth, joy, abundance, love, and blessings. All right. And of course, during Aquarius season, it's all about you, especially with Venus in your first house of self. This is when you want to make improvements to yourself. You want to look your best. You want to get some new makeup, get some new clothes, do something new with your hair. Like, do it up. Make yourself look, I want to say good. I wanted to say good, but you look good anyway, right? I wanted to say make yourself look different and express yourself, express your originality through your appearance. Venus in your first house is perfect for that, okay? And with the new moon in Aquarius in your first house, it is going to be an excellent time to set personal goals, whether it's goals related to your body and appearance, whether it's goals related to something that you really desire or something you've been thinking about for a long time. Plant those seeds at the new moon in Aquarius. When Mars goes direct, this is going to be in your 5th house of romance and children, okay? So romance, creative projects, expressing yourself, all of those desires are going to be reignited when Mars goes direct. If you're trying to conceive children, if you want to adopt children, anything new having to do with children, that desire is going to be reignited at when Mars goes direct in Gemini, okay? Mars in Gemini is going to be really fun for you. The 5th house is the fun house, okay? But again, you're going to want to do the most. You're going to want to have your hand in 10 different things. Just like I'm telling everyone else, don't spread yourself too thin. Try to focus. You may want to paint, write music, sculpt. Like you may have all of these, you may be flush with creative energy, right? It's not to say that you can't explore different things, but you also don't want to spread yourself too thin, okay? And then finally, the full moon in Cancer is going down in your 6th house of work and health. So work and health matters may be illuminated at that time. You may also have work and health matters that come to a completion at the full moon in Gemini. Now for you, I feel like the full moon in Cancer, it's full moon in Cancer, not full moon in Gemini. The full moon in Cancer, it may have you really thinking about work and is it emotionally fulfilling for you? Is what you do on a daily basis robbing your soul, or does it fulfill you? Are you of service to humanity? Are you of service to people in a way that is emotionally gratifying to you? I feel like for many people, that question or those questions may come up at the full moon in Cancer, okay? Again, a health matter may be coming to a completion or a work matter may come to a completion at that full moon in Cancer. Okay. So for you, Aquarius, the month starts out kind of peaceful because you're resting and recharging your batteries. And then come Aquarius season, it's all about you. Okay. I feel like January has the opportunity for a lot of fun for you, not just because it's your season, but because you also have Mars going direct in your 5th house. So there's going to be this re-energizing of this desire to have fun and express yourself, especially with Mars direct in Gemini and with Venus in Aquarius. So let your originality shine. Let your unique identity shine, whether it's in your relationships or whether it's in how you dress or how you look. I feel like by and large, January is all about you. And then finally, I feel like that full moon in Cancer is going to provide a big climax when it comes to a work matter or a health matter, or it may get you to think about work in emotional terms. Is it fulfilling? Is it emotionally gratifying? And if not, what can you do to change it? All right. So that's January in a nutshell for you. And then finally, last but not least, because we are almost at the 2-hour mark here, We've got Pisces rising. All right, Pisces. So for you, the areas of focus in January are your 11th house of friends and goals, your 12th house of the unknown, your 4th house of home and family, and your 5th house of romance and children. So during Capricorn season, it's probably going to be pretty social for you because the sun is going to be in your 11th house of friendship and goals. I feel like networking, meeting up with people, and just, the practical side of being friends with people is going to come up during Capricorn season. Okay. Um, Groups or friendship groups or associations that fit your lifestyle may also be something that comes up during Capricorn season. Now, because Mercury is going to be retrograde in Capricorn, you may have friends from the past coming back around, which can always be fun, right? Like it could be one of those situations where someone hits you up on Facebook, someone you may have gone to high school with, you haven't talked to in years or even decades, and you strike up a conversation with them, and maybe you meet up with them. Like, it can be really interesting, right? Mercury retrograde in the 11th house, I find to be very interesting because people that you may have had a brief friendship with may come back around, and it could be fun and exciting, right? And then come Aquarius season, it's going to be time for you to power down because the sun is going to be in your 12th house. This is going to be when you rest and recharge and get ready for your season. So Aquarius season is about reflecting, meditating. It's going to be about recharging your batteries and doing some inner work, particularly as it relates to your self-esteem, your self-value, and your self-worth, because Venus is going to be in your 12th house as well. So maybe a time where you reconnect spiritually with your higher self, reignite your relationship with God, with the universe, with your higher self, and do some inner work. But most importantly, rest and recharge. That's the essence of the sun in your 12th house during Aquarius season. And then when Mars goes direct in Gemini, this is going to reignite your passions with respect to home and family. So if there's new things that you want to do with family or concerning family, Mars direct in Gemini is going to give you the green light and the motivation to do so. If you're looking to purchase a home, change residences, anything having to do with home or property, you're going to have a whole bunch of ideas on new things to do, okay? And just like everyone else, don't spread yourself too thin. Try to focus your energy and you'll be able to achieve a lot more that way, okay? And then finally, the full moon in Cancer is going to illuminate your 5th house of romance and children. So things related to romance and romantic partners may be uncovered. You may discover things about yourself and your identity that may have been lying dormant, particularly as it relates to your creativity and your ability to express yourself. Something related to children may also be uncovered, whether it's existing children, children you are trying to conceive or adopt, or anything like that. You may also find that a creative project may be coming to a completion. Something related to children may be coming to completion as well, okay? But by and large, that full moon in Cancer is going to really be about your emotional gratification and satisfaction and your basic emotional needs as you express yourself. If you are expressing yourself, are you feeling emotionally gratified in your romantic relationships? With respect to your children, are you providing the basic emotional needs that your children may need? And by children, I don't even necessarily mean like your physical children. This could be your inner child. The full moon in Cancer may be a time where you address your inner child, particularly the emotional needs of your inner child. So you may find that this full moon may be a bit triggering, but it's ultimately to get you to understand what you need and how and from whom to get it, okay? So for you, Pisces, I feel like there is a bit of a social element to January. Definitely during Capricorn season, I feel like old friends may be coming back around, or you're just enjoying socializing and being parts of groups, right? But then come Aquarius season, it's going to be time for you to power down, rest, recharge, and do some inner work. Okay. And speaking of inner work, I feel like that full moon in Cancer is going to allow you the ability to do so, especially as it relates to your inner child, doing the emotional work and allowing your inner child to be addressed and be heard so that their and your emotional needs can be met. And then finally, Mars direct in Gemini is going to give you the drive and the motivation to start something new with family or to start something new related to home or property. All right. So an interesting month for you nonetheless. All right, my loves, that is January 2023 in a nutshell. All right, I sincerely hope that you were able to get at least one important piece of information from this broadcast that you can use going into January. All right. Speaking of January, I'm offering discounted pricing on natal chart reports and progressed natal chart reports. You can definitely find those links in the description box below. You can also find the links to all of my products and services in the description box below as well. All right. Thank you so much for tuning in. Happy January, and I will see you guys in my next video. All right. Take care.